Alright, I wanted to do just a little quick update on the bike. It's got about 100 hours on it now, just over 100. Overall, it's going fairly well still. Had a couple problems recently. As far as changes, I put on this muffler guard here, both because I think it looks better and it covers the couple big dents that I put in it when I dropped it on a big rock. So the starter sprag bearing slash sprag clutch went out at about 91 hours. So if you don't know, these have a big gear that sits on the flywheel here that normally doesn't turn when the engine is running. It has a sprag clutch and a sprag bearing, whatever you want to call it. It's a one-way bearing, so it only engages the flywheel when it's turned by the starter, and that's why when you shut the bike off you hear the quick chirp of the starter, because when you shut the engine off it hits compression and it spins back ever so slightly. It engages that. So that went out on me. I asked my dealer to order one, and he ended up having TRS USA just send me one for free. I didn't ask for a free one, but they send it out. To get it done, you got to pull this cover off here, and there's a big bolt in the flywheel you got to take out. You pretty much need an impact for that. It's an Allen bolt. So what happens with these, this is the old one right here. Sorry, I got it in this bag here, but there's a spring that runs around the outside called a garter spring, and the spring stretches for whatever reason, and when that happens it no longer works. This is a new spring that I got from McMaster Car. I think this spring is too tight, but obviously I haven't tried it yet, so I'll probably go with the next size bigger spring. In the future, shouldn't have to buy a whole thing. I just need the spring for it to fix it. So that happened. I got that done. The tensioner spring broke on me. Just the very tip of it broke. I don't know if you can even see this. It rides on a little nub that sticks out of the swing arm right here, and it broke just short enough that it was able to slip past that. And while we were riding, we took it apart and we got the spring back over the nub, and it stayed there for the rest of the ride. But I replaced it with the stronger Jitsi spring. Some people say it's too strong. I don't know, but it's working fine right now. The spring wasn't made to the exact correct dimensions. It was a little bit of a bitch to get it back in here and in place, but that's what I got for now. I should probably carry a new spring. But yeah, that's really the only big problems I've had with the bike. After I did this, the sprag clutch, I had a oil leak from the gasket here, and I took it back apart, and the gasket, the hole under this cover here, there's a bolt, and that hole had some gunky buildup around the edge of the gasket for some reason. And so I took it all apart and cleaned it up, put it back together. This time I used grease on both sides of the gasket, and it seems to seal now. It's the original gasket. Yeah, I got a quad lock phone mount here. So I got a new phone recently, and my old phone is going to be dedicated just to Gaia GPS use for navigating. I really hate having to stop and pull my phone out of my pocket every 200 feet trying to figure out where we're going when we're trying to find a new hidden trail or something like that. So I took apart the suspension linkage recently just to inspect it. Didn't find any problems. I added a little grease and put it all back together. I recently changed the oil in the forks for the first time. The side with the spring, this side, the oil was really thick and viscous, and the other side looked almost like new oil for whatever reason, the damper side. But drained those out, refilled them, and that was really a pretty easy job. So that's the current state of the bike. Still going pretty well, just a couple minor problems. I'm really happy that TRS took care of me by sending me that spread clutch. I know it's a common problem from what I hear, and not just with these bikes. It seems like any motorcycle that uses a spread clutch for the starter, seems like the spring goes bad on the spread clutch for whatever reason, and then it fails. So anyways.